Primetime from Atlanta, where defense was scorching hot. The confetti in the air. And for the 6th time in this run, Robert Kraft, Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, the New England Patriots are champions of the football world. 2 decades of brilliance sees no end. The dancing and the partying of Gronk and the Patriots nation continues. The Rams put up a strong defensive fight, but in the end, it's a scene that we've all seen before. And no matter what the score, it's admiration. The Vince Lombardi Trophy for the 6th time tying the Steelers goes on to the New England Patriots. And welcome everybody to Atlanta. Chris Berman, Steve Young, Randy Moss, and just like we all expected, 1 touchdown, the lowest scoring game in the history of the Super Bowl. And I guess, look, this all began for these Patriots against the Rams on this very day at the end of the 2001 season, and it was 20-17. Back to the future, 13-3.
How about back to the 1950s with a score? Look, think about it, it was the highest scoring offensive year in the history of the NFL. He faced the 2 highest scoring teams, the Kansas City Chiefs and now the Rams, 2 weeks in a row. He takes 11 orchestrated, highly orchestrated defensive football players, and he painted his Mona Lisa. He painted his Sistine Chapel. I tell you, this is Bill Belichick's greatest moment by far.
Congratulations, my man.
And
congratulations.
On cue, here he is.
Come on, grab a seat. Give us a little something, Coach.
Here is Rembrandt.
On cue.
Here is Michelangelo.
On cue.
It was perfectly timed.
Fancy meeting you here.
Come on, sit down.
You look well dressed.
Sit down.
So Coach Belichick and the Patriots have done it again.
Give us something, Coach.
We're gonna figure this
down right here.
Just like we did a couple of years ago, although
right
this
here.
was a little bit different in that one. And so for the 6th time, Coach Belichick, the New England Patriots, are champions of the football world in a grab a seat, Coach.
Grab a seat.
I'm good.
You are good. Just like you predicted, 3 points. This goes back to your heart, doesn't it, a little bit, Coach? Congratulations.
Thank you.
3 points allowed.
Thank you.
3 points allowed, really, in a year when we saw 50 points a game? Really?
You know, our players did a great job. They prepared so hard for this game, and they just went out there and played 60 minutes. And, you know, we played the running game. We tackled. We covered the receivers. We hit the quarterback, and they just played great. I just can't say enough about the effort our defensive team gave.
Coach, the game has been made safer, and in doing so, offenses had such a look at the highest scoring year in the history of the game this year. You've played the highest scoring teams you faced in the last 14 days. You hold them to 3 points. I just said the Mona Lisa, the Rembrandt, the Sistine Chapel. Like this has got to be for a defensive coach. The highest moment and the highest. This has got to be the Everest. I can't think of anything else to describe it. All the odds are against it.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a great performance by our football team. We did what we had to do, and we scored enough points. We played good enough defense. We controlled field position in the kicking game. Steve made a big kick. Everybody contributed. It's just one of those. We got one of these teams that they find a way to win, and they played their best in the biggest games, and they certainly did that tonight.
Yeah. You know, Coach, the first half, you know, the game was tight, and we knew just from history that you guys were going to go in, make some halftime adjustments. Talk to us about the halftime adjustments and how you were going to open up that running game in the second half.
Well, it was tough. I mean, certainly they played well defensively, and finally we got it going in the 4th quarter when we went to the 2 tight ends and went to empty, and we were able to get some matchups there and hit Rob down the seam, got Julian on a couple matchups against the linebackers and got the touchdown. So that was big for us. Then on the last drive, we hit a couple of those power runs, you know, double team kick out and run up inside, and got the ball across midfield, and Steve made the kick. So it just, you know, I felt like we were moving the ball, but we just couldn't finish. We get a penalty or get a negative play and get a couple first downs, and then it's 2nd and 12 or 3rd and 13, and you know, they're too good on defense to convert those.
Let's take it. So you had the ball. You got 3 points till mid-4th quarter. So what were the Rams doing that prevented the scoring? I mean, yes, you made some mistakes. What were they doing that surprised you a little bit, Coach?
Well, they basically played zone on 1st and 2nd down and played man-to-man on 3rd down. And that didn't surprise us. Again, I'd say where we had problems when we got into long yardage. Now, they made a couple stops on 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4 at the end of the half. They covered Rob over the middle, and then we got stopped on 4th and 1. So, but essentially, that's what the game was. When we were picking up first downs, we just weren't able to string enough of them together before they could make a play or get us into a longer yardage situation.
I want to go to Patriots history, not the big picture yet, and then let these guys. But since you've started here, Troy Brown, Wes Welker, now Julian Edelman, who is now
Danny Amendola.
Third Danny Amendola. There are others in that. Look, the patterns, etc., are different from 2001 to 2007. Well, that was Randy, but you know what I'm saying. To
every pattern's different with Randy. There's no other Randy Moss. There's Randy Moss and there's everybody else. That's right.
But
no, we've always had great slot receivers.
But what is it?
And we've always had good backs. We had, we had Kevin Falk, and then we had Vereen, and then we had James White. So we've always had good production out of our running backs, especially on 3rd down, and our slot receivers.
But in crunch time, here was Edelman.
Yeah,
the MVP.
absolutely. Again, Julian's a tough kid that makes yards after the catch, and he's just a great competitor. And he competed hard today. In those zone coverages, he was able to find some space in there. Tom hit him, and he made a couple big 3rd down conversions for us as well. In the end, we got the matchups on Gronkowski on the touchdown drive, which really made the difference.
Coach, we talked all week. You heard everything about Brandon Cook was in the New England Patriots camp, then he got traded to L.A. Can you talk to us about your approach to taking him out of the game? Because I think defensively, y'all had a great game plan to utilize him.
Well, we basically put Gilmore on the whole game, and it was a mix of man and zone coverage, and then we doubled Woods, and those are really the two guys that we were most concerned about. Obviously, Anderson and Gurley in the running game, and Reynolds and Everett as well in the passing game. I mean, they got too many good guys. You can't double everybody, but we've had a lot of double coverage on on Woods, and basically Gilmore on Cooks.
Coach, when you're trying to make this game plan against the Rams, the only other team that kind of did this to them were the Bears late in the season. Were they the biggest influence? Is that the film that kind of gave you some ideas, or what were the influences coming into this game that said, this is how I want to attack this football team?
Well, we just felt like we had to put something together that would neutralize the running game and their big play action passes on early downs. That's really where they've killed people all year, is the 120-some explosive plays that they've had. So we felt like if we could, make them drive it, make them earn it, similar to what the Lions did to them, to make them, just run a lot of plays and get them in 3rd down. We felt like we'd have a chance to get them off the field on 3rd down. And, ultimately we were able to do that. And really the play of the game defensively was the blitz, when Brian Flores called the blitz, and Gilmore played the play perfectly and just went up and high pointed the ball, and that was obviously a big play for us in the game.
And Coach, Tom is 41. This is everything about today is unprecedented. That's another thing that's unprecedented, that this guy is just, he doesn't show, and there's no chinks in the armor at 4. It's not possible. Can you explain this thing that's inexplicable?
Well, nobody prepares harder than Tom. He has great anticipation and awareness, and he gets the ball quickly to the guys that have the best opportunity to make plays with it. So we know he's not going to make any yards with the ball in his hands. He's got to get it to somebody else, and he does that quickly and efficiently. So Tom's had a tremendous year, and again has played great at the biggest times. The touchdown drive at the end of this game, and the touchdown drive last week in Kansas City, and the start we had against the Chargers. So. You just can't say enough about Tom Brady. He's a great football player.
And a couple of 3rd and 1s. We were looking. Randy and I were watching the game together. We were looking for that vaunted, now that he's a 1,000-yard back, Tom Brady 1-yard run. I mean, where was it?
Well, they kind of took that away from us. So,
and Dominican Sue and Donald might have something to do with it, right?
Yeah.
Look, Coach, you're big on, and I know part of the answer because we've visited many times. It's for the history books, etc. And I'm not asking you to put, because you're not done, as has been documented. This is your 40th playoff game together with Tom in this run. You're obviously 9th Super Bowl, 6th win. There will be more chances. You certainly are going in every season like that. It's 2 decades. It's different players except for the quarterback. What makes it different? I know you'll say it's the players. He was with you a little bit. Randy can probably answer for me. But look, this is 2 decades of this. You're a football historian.
Boomer, players win games. I'll tell you that. Players win games. You can't win games without good players. We've had a lot of great players.
But you can't win. Players can't win if they don't have good coaching.
Well,
Coach.
they can't overcome bad coaching. I know that. So we try not to put them in a bad spot.
Well, if a coach
we've had a lot of great players.
If a coach was ever going to win an MVP from the sidelines without crossing over the white line, this is the one. I mean, Coach, I tip my cap to you. I've tipped my cap to you so much my hand hurts. But this one, this really was a special one with what the game has changed because it's made it easier for the offense. It just has. Even talking to quarterbacks that played today, and you just faced, it's like the headwind you just faced in and turned into a tailwind. And I don't know how you do it. You can say it to players and everything, but I have to I'm going to beat you back a little bit because it's an all-timer, really.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Congratulations,
thanks, Randy.
Coach.
Thank you.
Congratulations,
Thanks, Steve.
Coach.
Boomer, thank you.
I know you're not going to be able to. How was the game?
You talk about Natalie Cladd. That's the sharpest tie I've seen in a long time.
In my gut, if I could tell you that I knew this would be 13-3, we had to pick things up a little bit for the fans. I did my job.
You did. Absolutely.
Did I do my job?
That's why you're the best.
Well, no, we're looking at it.
Thank you.
Team.
That's a bet.
Thanks so much.
Great
Congratulations,
smile.
Yeah, thank you.
Super Bowl champ.
Okay.
Again.
Thanks
for
Boomer.
coming to visit.
Congratulations, Coach.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks,
All right, buddy.
Thanks, Randy.
Love you, man.
Thank you.
Yep.
We will do highlights because this is now a tradition. We get the coach first, then we do the highlights. Congratulations to the New England Patriots.
Thanks,
the lowest scoring game in Super Bowl history. How about that one? How about that one? Yeah, there you would go. 6 NFL titles. George Halas, Curly Lambeau, Bill Belichick, leaving Vince Lombardi 4th. Well then, 13-3, the Patriots again. We tried to pick it up with the tie. We're going to pick up some defense. We're going to show you some intricacies in the game. When Randy and Steve and I come back, we'll have visits for more of the players in a historic Super Bowl win in many ways. Not the ways we thought. That's why they play the games. We'll be back.
Brushing ESPN presented by State Farm.
Welcome back to Atlanta, where the Patriots once again celebrating the Vince Lombardi Trophy. All hands on deck in a different sort of win. The Brady family once again, and who knows when the train will stop, but it is a train, a locomotive, more powerful than a locomotive, to steal a word from one of the big comics of all time. It's Superman. Welcome back. It's NFL Primetime. Chris Berman, Steve Young, Randy Moss. And so, if you're wondering where are the touchdowns, let's show you why they weren't there. All right, so in the highest scoring year ever in the NFL, here we are in the 2018 season, the capper in Super Bowl 53. The Patriots, as you now know, began this run a long, long time ago. In the year of 9/11, it was against a team in a similar team, another city, the St. Louis Rams. The greatest show on turf. How would you stop them? It would be defense. And so, but there's no way that Super Bowl 53 would resemble Super Bowl 36. That's impossible, right? Wrong. Here we go. Roof open. Super Bowl, there the Rams, the Los Angeles Rams of Sean McVay and Coach Bill Belichick and Tom Brady looking for number 6 together. First possession, Patriots. Wait a minute, they ran the ball a bunch of times and then only the third quarterback ever to get picked off on his first attempted pass.
Who are the others?
Jaws and Jim Kelly, all my friends. How is that possible? Wade Phillips, Corey Littleton played a big game, Randy.
Yes, he did.
That was Kel Roby and Eddie Ray Coleman. Now, Todd Gurley, there was something wrong.
There's no question there's something wrong, and there's been for a few weeks. We knew it. So you get 50% of Todd Gurley.
And so the Rams, 3rd and 2. Goff in trouble. They had good pass rush. It's a coverage sack, and then a Kyle Van Noy sack, 14 yards. Rams come up empty-handed. Next Rams drive. sack this Dante Hightower. Remember, he wasn't in the playoffs last year. Hurt.
They really missed him last year, Boom, but he played big today. Shout out to that defense and defensive coordinator Brian Flores for the performance they put on tonight.
And the first 8 possessions, Rams, punts. It's still 3-0, though. Let's not now Gurley. And a 5-yard run, and Patrick Chung, who would play a big role, injured, gone. Hurt the arm.
You know, the whole game, Boom, the LA Rams tried to run the ball, but they were not able to get it outside. That play there, they were able to get it outside.
Look, they're still just down 3-0 until Goff to Robert Woods. 18-yard completion. Could they get going?
Honestly, Boomer was the first real offensive pass play that they had run all game that was successful.
And now Goff, Brandon Cooks is wide open, but by the time the ball and the pass play goes, it's Jason McCourty with the defense.
And it was the big mistake. There were 2 huge mistakes in this ball game, both involving Brandon Cooks. That was a late ball. You put it on Jared Goff. And then late in the game, you're going to show a drop that Brandon Cooks had. So between the 2 of them, they had the 2 biggest misses of the game, no question.
And then 3rd and 7 at the 20, there's Hightower.
There he is again.
Boy, did they bring pressure, didn't they?
Man, we seen Hightower on the sideline, Boom, and then he got back in the game and made an instant impact in this game.
Greg the leg. Zerline, 53 yards, and just like we all predicted, 3-3 at the end of 3. Now 4th quarter. C.J. Anderson. He's been a big late season performer for the Rams, but it's a fumble as he tries to stiff arm Gilmore. He rolls out of bounds before Hightower could get it.
The Rams were completely out of their personality. What is he, Deion Sanders with the high stepping? Like, just run over him for the first down. It was a huge first down. And he dropped the fumble. The Rams offensively just never were themselves.
Little injury to the throwing hand. Goff 1st and 20 under pressure. Bang! That was in bounds. It was close.
Late.
I know. No flag.
Yeah.
Late.
It was a little iffy call, Boom, but this is the Super Bowl. He was in bounds a little bit. Just a little bit.
But now, you heard Coach talk about it a short while ago. All of us, who are you looking for? Edelman and Gronk. That was Gronk. That was Edelman. Julian Edelman with a huge game. 10 for 141. That was Edelman. Then Brady to Gronk down to the 2. That was the touch pass we were looking for.
That was the play. And you know what, Gronk? Think about the Kansas City game in the 4th quarter and overtime.
Yep.
Think about Gronk all season long. You say, do you believe that Gronk's going to make all the plays for this team coming down the road with Julian Edelman? You say, well, I don't think so. He did.
And then Sony Trinitron Michel into the end zone for the only touchdown of the whole day. It's 10-3, but it's still a game. Here are the Rams from the 20. Look out. And here comes Cooks. And this, maybe they would be moving. Now a little bit of, if not frantic, a little bit of urgency. It's 10-3. 3 plays later, 5.5 to go. 3rd and 9. Goff. Josh Reynolds. He wraps up a first down.
Well, here they go, Boom. I said earlier in the countdown that they're going to have to stop the Rams from running their favorite type of routes, crossing routes.
Oh, Cook, there's the
Play of the game for the Rams. And Brandon has a chance. I mean, there's no question it's contested. There's no question it hit him in the gut, and that strong catch could be made to tie the ball game, and that's ended up being the ball game for the Rams.
And then he looks for Cooks. It's underthrown, and Stephon Gilmore, who became this year in year 2 as a Patriot, the shutdown corner. Such a huge game on Kelsey at the AFC Championship game in the pit.
Boom, 0 for 4, throwing to Brandon Cooks, past 20 yards. Jared Goff, 0 for 4.
So the Patriots take over at the 5, and there's the Trinitron. Sony Michel, college ball, couple of hours down the road here, Georgia. How about you don't? Patriots killing the clock. Rex Burkhead, 26 yards. Rams, final timeout to stop it. 2:30 to go. 1st and 10. Trust me, it's 1st and 10. Like I said, it's 1st and 10.
The highlights are waiting
coach is going, no, Boomer, it's 1st and 10. And then a 4-yard illegal use of hands. So, all right, so that's going backwards on what was that call? Boomer, I said 1st and 10. 3rd and 1. Michelle, do they pick it up to end it? No, they don't quite.
This was a big play by the LA Rams. They needed this more than anything. That was a great play by that defense.
Here it is again. Didn't get it, so now, remember, Gostowski missed the kick earlier in the game. They're short. Can he kick a 41-yarder to essentially end it with $1:47 to go? Okay, we're going to run clock down. Do it down to 1 second. Call a timeout. And then Stephen Gostowski. Good. Squeezed it in, but it's a 41-yarder and it's 13-3, and everybody knew it's going to be the Patriots again. Now the Rams, could they come up with something in the last $1:12? Now this is Cooks.
I felt like the Rams should have a lot earlier gone to a no huddle to get something moving with them. I think
Well, insult to injury, although in the end,
the desperation was good for them, but obviously they couldn't even kick the field goal. But the desperation, they needed to feel much earlier because I think that got them, look, they were way out of sorts the whole game, and they needed to get something to get off the schneid.
Well, the Patriots didn't exactly roll it up either. But in the end, it doesn't matter how you did it. The lowest, once upon a time, Pittsburgh led Minnesota 2-0 at the half in his Super Bowl. This was 3-0, but guess what? When it was over, this game was lower scoring than that Super Bowl. The lowest scoring Super Bowl in 53 years of it. Wow. Old-time football. The Patriots can win it any different way. That's part of their legacy is any way you want to play it, they can win it. Right? Randy, I mean,
well, it's situational football, Boom. Everybody talked about, well, we're going to see Rob Gronkowski today. Rob Gronkowski came out with a sense of urgency, and you can tell in the first half he had some yak yards after the catch. So situational football, they made some great plays in the second half. They needed that.
With a nod to some other kind of tough sports, this is the most physical team sport in the world. And you think about it, when it's physical, it's all about strength, it's about athleticism. Coach Belichick has figured out to make it an intellectual, academic challenge. And he's got 50 guys that are completely bought in. And so in that way, he's completely malleable. He can come up with whatever plan is necessary because they're all unified in this intellectual enterprise. And we've watched it for 20 years, and people cannot catch him. They can't catch up. Of all the innovations that the game has brought forward, this is the one that seems to be the hardest for anyone to create this repertoire, this repository of intellectual, academic kind of. Look, when the Patriots are getting ready for a football game, there's other team is memorizing 10 new things. The Patriots or memorize 50 new things, and they've done it for 20 years. And so I think to me, that's the biggest difference.
And you know, it's not a headliner, and we're going to hear some sound. I'm going to visit with some more, and we told you Julian Edelman while Coach was up here. Only Jerry Rice and Lynn Swann have more yards receiving in Super Bowl history. So that would tell you something. Little things, like Josh Allen, the punter, and Matthew Slater down the ball at the 5 about 1 million times, right? The combination, little things like that they didn't have to memorize, that they already knew. By the way, Tom Brady wins again. Of course, Sal Paolantonio, our intrepid, caught up with it.
First of all, congratulations on a well-fought game. The Rams obviously were tough on defense. How did you guys pull through?
They had a great plan, man. They played really well. We just struggling. We got out of sequence too often, and they kept us out of rhythm. And we moved the ball. We just couldn't get as many points on the board, but fortunately our D played their tails off. That was the best game they played all year, and it was unbelievable. And just proud of the way that we pulled it out.
When Bill Belichick got the trophy, he said this one was really sweet because a lot of people felt that you were out of it all season long, and you came through again.
We played our best when it mattered the most. We played our 2 last regular season games. We played our best. I don't count the Miami game as a loss. So really, we had 1 loss since the bye. We kind of had a win, but just in the loss columns. We played our best football then. That's what the best teams do.
Julian Edelman had such a game, MVP. Congratulations to him, right?
Yeah, unbelievable. So proud of him. What a game. What a season. So tough, and just the best teammate, and I couldn't be happier for him.
And for you personally, how does this feel for you and your family, your whole family?
I got everyone here, so everyone's enjoying it, and just great to be with everyone.
Congratulations, Tom.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. I'm good.
It was not, this time Tom was not the MVP. Once it was Deion Branch, now Julian today, but the other 4 have been. So as a quarterback that was an MVP in the Super Bowl, and as someone who's been in the huddle with the greatness of Tom Brady, the grind at 41 to still do things, even when most of the game it's not working. describe what had to happen.
Think about what happened today. Jared Goff was not present. You could see it. He got baffled, and Todd Gurley wasn't running, and he couldn't carry it, and he was underthrowing. He just got behind the whole thing. You get to the line of scrimmage, you can see the data was just overwhelming. And the one thing about Tom Brady, he is always present. He's never not been. And in the biggest games, it seems like he's even more present. So no matter what happens, you knew that if they did not score some points, Tom Brady would figure it out. And he did. And that's, I mean, just everybody in the world knows that Tom Brady's going to figure that out.
You know, just sitting here listening to Tom Brady, he was talking about the day was not perfect, but the offense made the plays that they needed to make. Right here, you seen him hitting Rob Gronkowski in the fourth quarter. Right here, 7 minutes to go in the fourth. Little lob pass to Rob Gronkowski. That was a big play for those guys. And like we're always used to seeing, big plays out of that offense. Like Tom said, the offense made plays when they needed to win this game.
All of a sudden, it clicks with Gronk and Edelman for one drive. In many games, it would have been too late. But I guess in this, okay, it's not like, okay, we don't need the first 3 quarters, but there's almost a clock that goes off. We're going to be quick here, but
that's why it has to be about this defense. It just has to be.
I get it.
I mean, no matter what, and I give, again, offense scored the points. Julian was awesome, but this really was. That's why I say it's coach's Sistine Chapel. I mean, it's the model. It's like something we've been talking about for 35 years. I've watched Coach Belichick back to the Giants, back to the Cleveland Browns. I've had to play against them. It's brutal. I hated them. But I'm telling you, this is the ultimate moment. And you just have to step back, as we've done for Tom at times. You have to step back and just honor coaching that really influenced the very fabric of this football game.
Well, we
Are you going to dance? Give me something. Give me a jig.
Mr. K. What's up, Mr. K? Congratulations.
Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, number 6. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're get settled. It's a beautiful tie. It was a beautiful evening, wasn't it? Congratulations.
It was pretty cool.
We'll give you a
Mr.
seat.
Kraft, go ahead and
Hold
sit
on
right
a
here.
sec.
Go ahead and sit.
We can't have you to our dinner table if we don't give you a seat, even if it's the low seat. Congratulations.
It's gluten-free, I was told, because I only diet like you do.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, don't do that. That's a different program. So it's just happened. But what about this team, Robert? This particular team as champs. What did kind of toward the end of the year might be in the water that many others did not?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. This is a mature team, and even going through the locker room the last 2 weeks, I can get a feel normally. But, we don't usually lose games in December the way we did. We lost 2 games there. There's a lot of chatter, all the different noise going on that started before the season. Then we started the season. We lost, 2-3? But there's a certain confidence, not only confidence, but camaraderie around the guys. And the two of you would understand when a team has that kind of culture and karma. And I really felt it. And the job they did, what the defense did, actually the last championship game and this game, it's not like we have loaded with all-star players or Pro Bowl players, but they play as a team, and it's really remarkable. And I pinch myself. It took us 42 years. I was a fan and then an owner for 7 years, I think, before we won our first. And so to have the privilege of being in the position we're in, and I know no one's really rooting for us, and I mean outside of our fan base, and I understand that because, if I was a fan of our team, and we never had home playoff games. Our season was over in December all the time. So anyhow.
Well, go ahead, Randy.
I gave you a long answer.
No, why not? You sound like me.
Well, Coach, everybody was,
Look at you. You're like a banker there. The 3 people. This is the same guy.
Well, Mr. Kraft, I got a question for you. Everybody questioned your decision when you hired Coach Belichick, and then everybody questioned the decision when they drafted Tom. 6 Super Bowl rings. Coach, Mr. Crabb, as an owner, talk about that.
Well, I remember, we're fortunate in all our businesses to be private. So the key to me is getting people, I think, who are good people that I get along with and I have good simpatico with. And, when I hired Bill, to be honest, a lot of people, weighed in that they didn't think it was right. And then we went 5-11. But I remember him when he was with us in '96, and we went to the Super Bowl, and we really did it on our defense. And he had a big role in that. And then we developed a relationship, and I'm a little immodest to say this, but I think maybe the greatest trade ever done in the NFL was
a hell of a trade.
Giving a one-up to get him.
Well, Mr. Crabb, let me tell you, in a world where there's all about haters, everyone talks about haters, we have to stand back, and if we don't, we're fools to appreciate the moment you guys came out to your first Super Bowl as a team. You remember that? And change the nature of the way that the football was being thought about as a team. And here we are all those years later with 6 championships. If we don't, as a nation, stand back and appreciate excellence, then we're fools. And so all of us need to stop the madness about wanting someone else and just say, wow, we have a lot to learn from what you've done, what Bill has done, what Tom has done, a collective group of people, and I congratulate you on a epitome, the Everest for you. It's got to be.
But your message about building bridges, and we have to empathize and listen to everyone and try to take the good out of things. In our situation, what Bill has done managing the salary cap era and being able to sustain success. The league is built for any team to win 1 year, because if you do well, you draft lower. If you don't do well, you draft higher. If you play poorly, your schedule is much easier. And
it's built for parity, and you guys said no.
It's built for 8 and 8. But part of that is continuity.
Well, guess what? In an age,
here's your superstar.
In an age, Robert, when a dynasty is 5 years, this is, hold on. This is 2 decades. It's amazing. Congratulations.
MVP here.
You're just jealous of that beard, aren't you?
I really am.
I know you are.
But we're going to get him a great deal with Gillette. He's just saying.
You think you have a connection with them?
He'll shave half of it.
Congratulations, Robert.
Appreciate
Robert,
it, Mr. Crabb. I love you, man.
Well, the winning owner, and then we have the MVP with full beard. With it, it is Julian Edelman is coming over.
He says he's loving it.
And
come on up here, man. Come on up here, young buck. Congratulations, boy. Way to ball out, MVP.
Come on in.
Get up here and sit down. Here, let me help you. Get up here and sit down.
Bro, we saw the special yesterday. The old 49ers you played as a kid.
Congratulations.
Running around the end.
Congratulations, Julian.
I loved them.
Listen,
the Niners.
Does congratulations on everything, MVP, another championship. Does this cushion the blow if you get face first? That's all I want to know.
No, I don't think it does that.
I didn't think so.
They hit you, you feel it, but no, it doesn't.
What is crunch time? What is it? And we've seen it in all the playoff games, Julian, especially the Chiefs game, and especially here in a 3-3. There's a conversation that goes on with the eyes, doesn't it, with Tom?
I think, well, it all starts with having great weeks of practice. I mean, as lame as that sounds, when you go into a game confident, that's the most dangerous thing. And, it starts with practice because that's where you gain your confidence. And then just the years of playing with him, kind of knowing what he likes. He knows my body language. I know his. I mean, it goes and it helps. So, that's all I can say on that, man.
Jules, I got to take it back, man. I got to take it back because when I say I'm proud and I'm happy for you, I really mean that sincerely. I seen when you came to the New England Patriots, talking about you were a quarterback, making the transition to the wide receiver. I know it was a hard thing to do, playing behind Wes Welker, and now you're a Super Bowl MVP. Talk about it, my man.
Yeah, I remember those days. I'll tell you one quick Randy story that he always used to tell me. He goes, Edelnut, there are about 14, 15 of you in this league. There's only one Randy Moss, 98 first round, get to know me. And so I say that to all the guys now.
Well, I'm tell you what, I've never been an MVP, let alone a Super Bowl MVP, man. I am proud of you, bro. Way to persevere.
I appreciate that. And, you know, I never really thought about that. You know how it is in New England. You're just so in the grind mode of you're trying to thinking about this, that, and you know, sometimes, you know, for a long time I was just trying to make a team, then you're trying to earn a role, and then you're trying to, you know, keep on going, and the head's been down, and you just try to work. And I got to learn from a lot of, you know, great players. I got to learn from Randy, and a lot of people say, oh, you don't have that skill or that body type. And I mean, you could just being around Randy Moss, the type of player he was, how he'd hide his hands on deep balls and late hands, and how he'd catch the ball, and you know, his savviness for the game. I mean, you could take little things from everyone and try to implicate it to your game, and that's all I was trying to do. I mean, I had a lot of great guys around me, so you know, if I didn't learn, I wasn't going to be there.
You've proven a lot of people wrong, man. I'm proud of you.
I appreciate
Julian,
that, Randy.
That means a lot. In the lowest scoring Super Bowl
of all
history,
time. You know that.
You were the one that was excellent. You were the one that stood out. You were the one that put the numbers up, and not only that, but just made the plays to make the difference. What was happening on the field that allowed you to be the one person in an explosive year, an explosive offensive, you know, kind of era, that you were the one that made that happen tonight? What was it? Were they doing something unique defensively? What would allowed you to be the MVP tonight?
Just getting open and catching the rock.
Were they man to man? Were they?
I mean, they went to a lot of zone. I mean, a few times they were in man coverage, and you know, we were able to take advantage of that. And then, you know, I mean, it was you got to tip your hat to LA Rams. I mean, they played good defense. I mean, we put up 10 points. What did we put? 13 points. You know, and it was a hard-fought battle. But you got to look at our team, and we knew it was going to be a hard-fought battle, and we knew it was going to go 60 minutes, because that's how it always goes. And we were prepared to do that, and we were able to make enough plays today to go out and win. And you got to tip your hat to our defense. I mean, they held that deep. They're the real MVP to me. I mean, they held that offense to 3 points. I mean, that's remarkable. You just got to – I mean, it's complimentary football.
You know what, Well, no one's better at it than you guys. Listen, only 7 wide receivers have won this in the 53-year history of the Super Bowl MVP.
It's pretty cool.
And the list, you may not know this one, the list of yards in Super Bowl. Wide receiver Jerry Rice, Lynn Swann, Kent State, Julian Edelman. Congratulations.
Redwood City,
Congratulations.
California.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us, my man.
Proud of you, boy.
I appreciate you, Randy.
And
can I get a follow on Instagram, bro?
Congratulations.
All day.
And exhausted Julian Edelman. With a hockey playoff beard. Congratulations. We'll be back to Atlanta in a moment. The Patriots had the fireworks on defense and just enough offense to win Super Bowl 53, 13-3 in Atlanta. There are the fireworks at the end, and the confetti the two quarterbacks embrace. The Rams. Young will learn. This is how they felt afterwards, 13-3 on the wrong side.
I'm mad at myself. You know, I wish I would have done things differently. I wish I could have gotten back and made extra plays, but all stuff I can learn from and use moving forward.
It sucks, you know, because like I said, this is what you work for to be on this and play in this game, to be on this stage, and then when you feel like you ain't did enough to help your team,
we don't take moral victories. I personally don't take moral victories. We didn't get our job done. We need to continue to work and shut down the run. We didn't do that late, and we allowed them to score. Their scoring drive, they moved the ball down with Gronk. We didn't get after the passer. And then even later when we had an opportunity to get our offensive ball back, we didn't do it, especially stopping the run, and that was a key for us. I've said it all week.
Well, look, if someone had told the Rams, by the way, that your first 8 drives you're going to punt the ball, but yet you're going to hold, and we heard from Donald and Sue there, you're going to hold the Patriots to 13.
At the end of that 8th punt, it was tied, I want to say.
Yeah, or 3-0 or 3-3, whatever it was. So defensive, let's start with their defense, okay? Because we heard from those guys. What? And there isn't a moral victory, obviously. I mean, you lost in the Super Bowl, but they would have taken their chances. We've given up 13 points to Tom Brady and the Patriots in the Super Bowl. What do you mean we're not going to win? So defensively, they did a lot of things to confuse New England and hold them in check and have them punt a lot.
But the thing about it, Boom, they didn't do it for 4 quarters.
Okay.
And that's what
Fair.
really hurt, and that's
Yes.
what really hurt the LA
That's what
Rams.
they talked about.
You know, I was listening to the talk shows for the last 2 weeks. It was how were the Patriots going to utilize or stop Aaron Donald? Well, he needed his supporting cast to be able to help him defeat their individual matchups, but they were unable to do it. So right here, we're flipping back to Jared Goff. And don't mean to change the subject, Boom, but there's some plays out there, and it's the one play that, to me, with Gilmore, when he tried to throw it to tried to throw it to Cooks,
right.
And Gilmore was right there on him. It was just a bad play, and you heard his soundbite about the plays that he could have done, made better for his team. Here's the play right here, Boom. Brandon Cooks just jogging off the ball. Man, he's looking for you to make a play. It's fourth quarter with 4 minutes to go in the game, man. We need a play. Stephon Gilmore was looking at him from the snap of the play all the way up to the catch. That was bad offense by both guys.
Look, this is a ferocious defensive front that showed up early. Tom Brady doesn't like people in his face. He doesn't like people bouncing him around, and they were doing it. And you could see that was one of those games where the Patriots weren't going to score 30. They weren't. You just knew it. And if the Rams could get on track, you felt like they could take this football game. And they just couldn't get on track. This defense did, to me, everything and more than you would want them to do in a Super Bowl. And it was really those guys up front, and then they had some combination stuff in the back. How many 3rd and shorts or 3rd and 5s when Tom Brady's walking off the field? You don't see that. They played tremendous football. Yes. And I think we just have to point directly at this offense that was the 2nd highest scoring and the most highest scoring year in history, coming to the Super Bowl and putting up 3. That's just a fact.
And who knows? The Rams, a lot of their offense is predicated off play action, right? So without Todd Gurley, it's not an excuse. I mean, okay. And therefore, Anderson had a nice year, nice second half of the year for them, but bottled up. With them not being able to run, was their passing game, I don't want to use the word exposed, but somewhat in
but we saw
trouble.
that against the Bears too. I mean, this is a team that is a momentum play, and they get people kind of baffled. Like Coach Belichick said, they love those first down chunk throws. They like the play action. That's because off Gurley's runs, they weren't going to allow it to happen. But that does not hold an explosive football team to 3. That doesn't. I mean, that's like, you hold an explosive football team to 3? That is why when I talk about Sistine Chapel, I'm talking about Mona Lisa. It's like, you do not do this unless you do something like existential. And that's what this Patriot defense did, coached by the all-time great.
You know, Jared Goff needed some help. You heard the sound bites talking about if he could do things over. There were some plays he wanted to have back. But one thing, I don't really want to say he was exposed, guys, but I think that the running game really helps and hurts Jared Goff. If the running game's not going, the LA Rams are not going. They need that running game to go, and not having Todd Gurley for 4 quarters really hurt them.
Well, to put in another little thing, you said we're putting football back to the 50s or at least the 60s.
This is not even the Ravens.
Listen, this is a short list. Beating the number 1 or number 2 scoring offense in the conference championship and Super Bowl in back-to-back games. The Patriots did it with the Chiefs and the Rams. The 69 Chiefs did it. By the way, Johnny Robinson is the 6th member of that defense to go in the Hall of Fame. We were talking about him earlier. Against the Raiders and the Vikings. And the 66 Packers, Vince Lombardi, did it against the Cowboys and the Chiefs. That's where we're going to.
It's like, you just hand him that sheet you just have right there. He's going to put it up as his, memento. It really is. It's an incredible thing that you have to step back and go. Amazing.
History. We'll hear from Gronk on his future and what he had to say after the game. And more here from Atlanta to the partying? Well, in Boston, it's probably just underway, brother. We'll be back.
Play of the Game is brought to you by Tostitos, for every kind of fan.
Well, the play of the game that set up the only touchdown in the game was this touch pass, the drop in from Tom Brady to Gronk that brought it down to about the 3 or the 2 where Michelle scored a touchdown. Gronk, will he be back? After the game, spoke about future.
You know, tonight it's about celebrating with my teammates. And that decision will be made in a week or two, you know, down the future. Because tonight, that's what it's about, is celebrating with my teammates. And that's what I'm worried about tonight. We're going to have a good time. Bill told me he's partying tonight, so you know it's going to be good. You know, I haven't thought about that decision at all. I mean, tonight's the night to celebrate with my team. And in the future, that will, you know, be decided in a few weeks or so. But tonight, it's about celebrating with our team because we stuck together as a team, and it's about that tonight.
And he is unique in many ways as a personality on the Patriots, of course. But his style of play is both new and old. He is obviously an unbelievable force receiving the ball, can take the touch, can carry a couple guys on the back, but is such a key in blocking as well. That you don't see the tight ends who are the best this day be able to, oh, he had 2 catches. Yeah, but wait did he block against San Diego, against the Chargers.
Right.
And then against the Chiefs here, he's catching the ball. Who knows? For us to predict on what Gronk's going to do, hard to today. We would be doing him a disservice if we said, well, that means he will be partying tonight. I can go on the limb and say that, Brandon, right?
You know, when I look at Gronkowski and everything that he's meant to the New England Patriots and having a decision to make on his NFL career, to me it tells me that the physical part of the National Football League has kind of taken its toll on him a little bit. And why? Because he's a little uncertain. He wants to wait a week. He wants to wait a week or two. But to me, as a fan of Gronkowski, I'm asking him why. Because that play you just showed with the little bit of touch that Tom threw, boom, he drew triple coverage. Mm-hmm. So if you're a guy like that that's maybe a little indecisive about your career, maybe he needs to sit back and think, because if you're still a part of this team and love everything that Patriots stand for, Rob Gronkowski still has a few more years to play football. Tom's up there with his 6th Super Bowl ring. See where Gronk can go.
You know, what I saw against the Chiefs, what I saw tonight, he blocked and runs by the linebacker. Like, I get it. He's beaten up. He's older. That's fine. But don't think about it right now. Don't take a couple months, 3 and 4 months, and get back healthy, get 100% again, and say to yourself, do I want to go back and grind it out again? Because there's no question, that is not a guy tonight. You don't make those catches if you're kind of fading.
Right. I
mean, I understand that he's had some tough injury. I mean, I understand that he's not feeling 100%, but that's a guy that's still making plays in the biggest game. So I don't know why we have to go through this. Maybe it's just fun to kind of talk about it and bring some drama to it. But as far as I'm concerned, Gronk, get yourself 100% again and let's do it.
There was a couple plays he made out there. I think his first couple catches in the first half. You seen his yard after the catch. Gronk was trying to get somewhere. So to your point, Steve, he still has a lot of football to play, but only if he wants to.
You know he's going to have fun doing it. You know, Tom and the Patriots want him around, and he's been such a key cog in so many ways. But you know what? The Patriots, they do it different ways with different guys, different games, different years. Gronk has been as big a name as we've had. But, man, they keep on rolling, don't they? We'll be back. Super Bowl 53 goes to the Patriots over the Rams, 13-3. Patriots over the Rams. This run began in Super Bowl 36 when Tom Brady led them up the field in a tie game, 17-all, and from 48. Steve, you and I were standing under the goalpost. Vinatieri, my goodness, it was right down the middle. It was a 14-point underdog. They couldn't do it. They stopped the greatest show on turf, and it began against the St. Louis Rams, and this run is continuing against the Los Angeles Rams. Interesting, in a weekend in which Ty Law from that team became a Hall of Famer, his pick 6 in that game of Kurt Warner was, ooh. So defense still really counts against high-scoring offenses. And I guess no matter how things change, the story of this game is they remain the same. Defense in old-school football will always have a place, and the Patriots are proof, Steve.
And you know what? These rule changes, we're going to have another huge scoring year next year in the NFL. The high-scoring teams are going to get to the playoffs, but you just better hope you don't run into Bill Belichick. That's just the bottom line, because the guy has an incredible knack at taking unique challenges. I mean, Jared Goff just looked lost. I mean, in the end, I just worry, they'll get back. The Rams will be big again next year. He just has a knack at making quarterbacks look foolish.
The Rams have a very good football team. The New England Patriots have a very good football team. They've showed time and time again that they can get back to the Super Bowl. I challenge the LA Rams with this team because the NFC don't really represent very well when it comes to the Super Bowl. So I challenge the LA Rams to try to get back here next year to see if we can have a repeat at the Super Bowl.
Well, if they're made of what we think they are, they will have a chance, and we know what the Patriots are made of, and you're going to pick against them not winning the division? You're going to pick against, once again, for the 6th time, tying the Steelers, the vaunted Steelers. The New England Patriots are champs. For Randy and Steve, I'm Chris. Thanks for watching.
The ESPN app, now with ESPN Plus. Get more ESPN and download now.